outside container was made to match. You know, the furnace itself is a 3 by 3 by 2 boiler, so it's not a very large boiler. Some of the options that we would have would be to put it outside the container, and he also went downstairs and looked in the basement. One of the areas that he found that would be ideal would be with the shower room is for the ambulance. And I know we talked about moving that upstairs so that the EMS crew would not have to go down if they want to take a shower.
A 10-year contract, John, if for some reason, we'll say it started breaking down or anything, what's the penalties? Or are there any if we wanted to get out of the system if it really wasn't functioning and working well? That's something that we can thought about.
If the machine breaks down, it's their obligation to repair it.
No matter how many times.
As long as they own it, it's their obligation.
One thing that he said too that was interesting that I didn't get out of him coming and talking to us is that it's renewable yearly. You kind of come together every year and you go renewal type thing. To say if you're happy, not happy, I mean, it's not like they come in, put it in, and we'll walk away for 5 years. So there's constant back and forth with them, which I thought was impressive.
Does that come under green energy or anything, or would be refunds if you changed over to a better system that was better on the buying, if there's no kickbacks or anything?
I don't believe so. I looked into some stuff for efficiency in Maine, and there was some stuff for businesses, there was some stuff for homeowners, but I didn't find a whole lot for municipalities. So I don't think this would qualify. I mean, I'd go back and look into it again.
No, it's okay, if you couldn't find anything.
I could give him a call, I haven't called him.
Sure. Anybody given any prices or any updates or anything on gas prices at all?
No, we talked with 2 individuals, and we were both pretty close to the same. We were right around 20,000.
No, they want us to go into a contract, is that right, of 5-year? 5-year span, is that
Well,
right?
there's 2 options.
Yeah.
There's a 10-year contract, and then there's a rolling 5-year contract. That would be up to us.
If the decision was made to have the unit installed in the building, will it change our insurance? That's one part. The second part is, we would automatically be giving up space that may be more valuable for storage. And then when the contract's over, because this is not what they usually do. They bring in a roll-up, they set it down, they run the pipes through the wall, you got heat.
Right.
And if after 10 years, let's say this is creating a possibility that we need another building we could heat, and we put a furnace in here, then we can take that, now it's our property, and just have it set outside some other building. So I'm leaning towards, if this is a decision, not having it put in the building for several reasons.
I'm inclined to agree with you. Because if at the end of the 5 years you decided it wasn't something you liked or whatever, if you've got it in the basement, you've got a lot of problems getting it out. If you've got it in a roll-up,
And there'll be no penalties or anything, right, at 5 years, sometime,
no, there was no penalty. It was just that it's higher going into it.
Right.
The BTU hours cost.
Yeah, BTU hours, exactly. That.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, basically it was explained with a lot of that higher cost had to do with the higher depreciation. You know, now instead of having a brand new unit, you've got a 5-year unit that they have to recover, and what do they do?
Well, that's why I'm asking the question, you know, if you're not happy with it for 5 years, what the penalties are, because
No.
it's once price is in place, I'm sure they might keep you on board.
Which I think is another reason for the constant checkups.
Yeah, the annual visitation,
Yeah,
make sure we're still happy with that.
Right, right.
And they guarantee that if anything goes wrong, that they'll come and fix it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I know the medical center had a unit years ago, and the feeder kept getting plugged up. And this is when Dennis was alive, and I know he was really upset.
Yeah.
Every morning he had to go in and unplug it,
Right.
and they finally got rid of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure they've updated them, I mean, this
That's
was,
what I was gonna say.
you know,
the
20 years
technology
ago.
has changed.
I did a follow-up, they gave me a reference, C-card down in Franklin, and I gave them a call, I asked them, because they've had the unit for about a year, and I asked them what their experience was, and apparently they did have an issue in the machine when their boiler first went in, but he said Pelico come down, took care of it, and they haven't had an issue since.
I know 3 or 4 different ones that have the order type feeds that they've had problems.
They plugged up, plugged
You
in.
know, and it's not just one branch, so when you get something that's turning, you try to take something, it doesn't get a chance, anything, behind you.
He indicated that he was definitely willing to come back down and answer any of our questions.
What are they on?
Or no.
So if you'd like to set up a time for him or a meeting with him,
So there's a local person that will do the test, and then accelerate.
I think he said they were trained somewhere when he was here last.
Yeah.
and one of the most attractive things, of course, is that we don't have money up front, and since we do not have money,
Yeah,
We've been discussing this in the committee of municipal facilities meetings, and we have 2 members of the municipal facilities committee here. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get their opinions of the same information that we've all been sharing, because this is a committee decision, and my understanding is they're pro going with this, although they, I don't know what our committee consensus was, 5-year, 10-year?
I think it was 10.
Okay, so we're leaning towards 10 years, which makes sense. And,
What
they're here
other-
for your
Yes,
question.
because I know nothing. And I'm not gonna pretend to. What other options did you look at?
Well, we looked at buying going gas. We looked at buying our own pellet stove. We looked at repairing or buying a new oil burner or repairing this one. But it all came back kind of to the fact that the town doesn't have a bunch of money sitting around to do it. This option, no upfront cost.
Right.
And if I could add to that, that's the situation we're in. And during that time, if we budget for savings annually for the replacement of the furnace, because the agreement with Pelico makes you have to have a furnace here, functioning.
Yeah.
So
You have to have a backup.
during the time that we're under the 10-year agreement, we need to save money for the new furnace and hope that this one lasts until we come up with the money to replace it. And then if that's, as I said, you know, the other advantage is if it's outside and there's another space that we can heat or need to heat, we've got a heating unit that can be transported. But we should budget out the money annually to save for the furnace.
and also if we know that we have to have that backup, the backup doesn't have to be oil heating like we have now. You know, we could save money and hopefully in 10 years, the gas option would be a lot more viable.
Very
I don't think being tied into a 10-year contract.
We need 10 years to save that much money to fix the furnace. Let's be realistic.
Well, I'm not talking about saving money, but I'm just talking about contracting in general.
We're gonna pay the same amount, whether we're in a contract to buy BTUs from the machine sitting outside the building, which we can afford to do, we would do it anyway. It's gonna help us replace the furnace that will go eventually, sooner rather than later, because of its aging condition. So it really is a good situation if we use the time correctly.
Are we comfortable making a decision on this? Would we like Steve to come back down one more time?
I'm comfortable with going with this. I think he's been here 3 times already, and
Yeah.
he hasn't come up with any new stuff to tell us. It's the same,
Right.
same system.
Can I pull the board? Joanne, you're in favor of making a decision?
I just wanna make sure that they're gonna be coming if there's anything at all wrong. And I'm really not leaning towards the 10-year, because I think that's too long a span to lock us into this, where we don't know that much about, I mean, you know, we don't know, we're not sure of it. So I'd rather go with the 5-year, but that's just my opinion.
I agree with that. Sarah?
I think the location of where the unit goes still needs to be discussed. I also don't like the idea of 10 years, although the 5-year plan doesn't seem like a very good deal, so I don't like
Do you
that
have,
5 years.
do you have an option as far as the location that you prefer, either in the building or out of the building?
I personally don't, what I think it needs to be researched, and I don't have a personal opinion because I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
Heating
The problem that
systems.
we have, in addition to other problems, is we're getting into the heating season. We know what we have is not very reliable. So I think
From what
we
was
should
said,
make a decision in the next few meetings, not this meeting.
from what was said on costs, and if we had to move it into the shower system and then move that, I think that would be more of a cost that we shouldn't incur.
Right.
That's true too. I'm not
That
for
being
it.
said, I guess the shower.
Yeah, I'm not for it. I'd much rather you stick with what we got, do the repairs onto it, or take and go with gas, because I just think that there's too many moving parts, too many things to go wrong, located in or no 10-year contract. I just, I'm gonna say stick with what we have. Gas is the wave that's moving on big time because of no moving parts, maintenance almost completely free, and the supply is plenty, and on volume you can get it at a great deal. There's no doubt the BTU is not the same as a gallon of heating oil, but with the difference in the cost, it most certainly make up for it, and being maintenance free is another big factor, and that can be tucked inside of what we're doing.
Right. But the issue with that is,
The money,
right now, we
of
don't have money,
Yeah,
so.
but I
With
would,
that being said, would you go for a 5-year plan rather than a
No.
10? You don't want to.
no, I don't
You'd
think I
rather
do
wait
anything.
till we,
What I dealt with in the past and stuff, I would rather take our chances and try to repair, fix what needed to be fixed on this one here that we got, and try to come up with some kind of money in the next 2 or 3 years, one way or the other.
I don't think what we have is going to last 2 or 3 years if we're using it as a primary. We're going to have it fixed.
Right, I know the outside shell was in kind of tough shape, and I think all the circulators and everything in the burner and stuff like that wasn't too bad. The main jacket and the boilers and stuff are all right, and that's your big goal right there.
I think we should go with the 10-year contract, with the unit set outside, and budget annually for a portion of the estimated repair replacement cost of the furnace. It's an opportunity that provides us with the ability to do that over the course of 5 to 7 years at a incremented amount, so that people aren't shocked at the sticker price to fix this thing. And keep in mind that all of this is great views that we're sharing. Tomorrow morning, the furnace could go kaput. So, then what happens? We're going to the public to say, we need money for a furnace. And that's going to start first step is we're going to need a public hearing, because we don't have that money. I'm letting everybody know this because that's what's going to happen if we don't do something else. So this is going to buy us some time, and we hope that the furnace stays going until we got the money to fix it. If not,
Well, if it doesn't, and it breaks down while Pelco's on the outside of the building, what do we do then?
well, we keep running Pelico. Our agreement says 10% of the BTU need in the agreement. So they're heating the lion's share. We could probably get by with an 80-gallon electric hot water heater to meet our end of the agreement in the contract.